I want to respond to her point because listen, the way I live my life personally, I wouldn't have children outside of wedlock. So I don't believe in that personally. But if we're talking about the whole community, that's already the case. So what do you suggest we do about that? It's already done. You're speaking something that maybe you want to be, but that's not reality. So you
Okay,
think
so
what's already done?
the
Hold on, L.
people
You
who
gotta let her
are
finish. L, you gotta let her finish. We want to talk over each
I'm
other.
just
Go
saying,
ahead.
like, because if we're here to be solution based, the majority of our culture is they're not married. So you're talking about some, oh, it would be nice if it was like this. It was like this in the 60s and 70s. That's not today. So what's the solution for what it is today? That's what I'm asking her.
to focus on themselves, and they need to only get in relationships with other childless people. For the people who have already made their mistake, let them figure it out. I'm not out here trying to help people who there's nothing that I can do because what's done is already done. So me as a childless person, what I'm gonna do is, instead of doing what the majority of Black people are doing, I'm gonna go over here. If I choose to have kids, I'm gonna go over here and start my own family and do it the way that it should have been done, because that's all I can do. Now, for
I'm
anybody
not. Oh.
that want to go out here and you want to help this man with the baby that he made from whoever, God bless you. Good luck.
Yeah,
Once again,
that was, I wanted to say something about it.
most likely it will fail
Hold on.
based on the statistics.
I want to get to Kelly connections, and then I want to get Sham Monet back in here, so she can give her take. Go ahead, Kelly connections. You got anything? You on mute? I can't hear you. You on mute?
I was saying, I said everything I was going to say. I think it's an ignorant thought process. I do agree with doing it right from the very beginning. I don't like the thought of throwing children away. So, like, once you make the mistake, because a lot of people, we're talking about our community, a lot of people have already made the mistake. What happens to the kids? That's just my issue right there with the whole statement. I don't think it's weak for a man to step in and be a father figure to a child that needs a man in their life. Because at the end of the day, kids need fathers. If they don't have a mother, they need that nurturing side. A woman, a child should not just be raised by their dad. They're going to be very hard and crass. Like, they need a feminine touch. Where does that come from if you just throw them away?
Not my kids, not my problem.
Right. And to me, that sounds very selfish. And that's okay.
Okay.
If that's how you want to do it, again, more power to you. But there are a lot of kids out here that are suffering. There are a lot of kids that are orphans. There are a lot of kids that are in foster care, because a lot of people have that thought process. Not my kids. Not even they are my kids. Still not my problem. Like,
as long as I'm not out here, I'm not out here having kids the way some people are.
And I respect that.
No, so for me, as long as I'm not saying that the kids deserve to suffer, but I know that I am not the cause of their suffering because I didn't put them in that situation.
Right. I respect that. I do. But to the people who've already made the mistake, the kids are not the issue. It was the parents that made the mistake. They shouldn't be thrown away. They still need somebody in their life that's going to pour into them. There's so many people who made it in this life, and they're like, there was that one stepdad that was there for me, and he raised me, and he gave me everything I needed. Because his real dad wasn't there. I think it's the biological fathers that are weak. If you're not stepping up for your own kids,
statistically, though, those instances of a child turning out great with a step parent are rare. And then when you say that it's the biological parents, the biological fathers, there are plenty of fathers that want to be in their children's lives. And if these biological fathers are so bad, why do women keep picking these men to have kids by?
No, I'm saying if a father is not stepping up to be in their child's life, that to me is the weakness. It's not the man who
but
does.
Then why? I agree, but women tend to pick those type of men to have children by.
No, I don't know what that feels like.
I don't know if they come assembled with some good penis. That must be the case, because women will pick men like that, and then after they have a baby by him, right? They'll see all the red flags and say it's not red, it's just dark pink. They'll pick a man like that, and then after they have a baby by him, knowing the type of man that he was, after they have a baby by him, all of a sudden they want the man that they should have picked from the beginning.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Now, have you ever? I just want to ask her a question.
Go ahead, Balance.
Have you ever heard of the Willie Lynch letter?
I have the book at home.
Okay, so I mean, I really want to know your thoughts about that, because really you're saying what you would do, and I think young women who don't have children should listen to you, right? And I respect that, but that's not the majority of our culture, and you don't have solutions for the majority. You just keep saying you don't know. So No, you say you don't know.
I know I gave a solution. You have kids, focus on your children. The people who don't have kids, go build nuclear families. For those who already have children, focus on your children. Don't focus on finding a mate. Okay. If you pick wrong, that child, if you pick wrong, what could happen to that child? It's not worth it. Put your desire for companionship on the back burner and focus on the child. When you want to date, you want a boyfriend, good. When your child is grown and out the house, then you can have a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
So what do you do for a son that needs a male figure? Does he just become super feminine because his mom?
Where's the biological father?
So okay, so that is a solution. Get the biological father involved.
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking in this case, where is the biological father?
I want to answer. No. Okay. So that is the question I'm asking you. If the father is not involved, you need to re-engage him, make him be there.
You can't force the man, and this could go vice versa, because I don't want people to feel like we're just making it seem like men are deadbeats, because there's some deadbeat mothers out here too. You can't force the father, but I'm gonna be honest. At that point, you just have to accept the fact that you made a piss poor choice, and try to raise your son the best that you can on your own. You can try to involve another man, but I wouldn't recommend it.
That's where I disagree. Like, get the grandfather involved, get uncles involved.
But the grandfather didn't lay down to make that baby.
They still need a male.
The responsibility of that child on other people.
Okay, so who teaches a boy how to be a man?
Ask the mother.
Can I just jump in here just real quick? Just to okay, so if we're saying, which I actually agree with her, like if you were single and you have no children, I do think that you should, if you know that you don't want to take on the responsibility of somebody else's children, then I do believe that you should look for other single people who do not have children. Statistically, though, if we're looking at how many single parent homes there are, whether they're headed by women or headed by men or whatever, just statistically speaking, it is not going to be enough of single people to find single, unmarried, single partners. So in that regard, if we're really truly talking about the children, I don't think the statistics do not support that children do better in a single-led household. Whether it is married by biological parents in a biological situation in a stable, non-conflict home, those children do much better. They do better, hands down, across the board.
You're right.
But then when you go to a situation of children who are in step family situations versus single-led situations, those children tend to do better as well. So if it's about the children and we want them to come out to be, more productive citizens and do better, then the solution to that is you marry and, marry someone who may have children. If that is not, if that is not your particular situation that you want to be in, then by all means, don't do that. But the stats, and the reason I'm saying in terms of the stats is because you said that, if you have a kid, you mess up, then you should live the rest of your life without having a partner or getting married. So what I'm trying to say, if it's truly about the kids, then at the end of the day, being in a step parent situation, it is better for the kids as opposed to a single parent led situation.
That's not true.
Can I say something?
Yes, I'll drop that to you in the back.
I think Elle wanted to respond to that for a second, and then we'll see who's gonna go next. Go ahead, Elle.
That's not true. Children do not do that much better in blended families.
I'll drop the study to you in the back.
They don't. Children should be. If children do so good in blended families, then why do blended families fail? Majority.
Well, if you look at the stats in general, just in terms of marriage in general, those stats aren't good within itself. So, of course, I do. Hold on. I agree with you. Marriage in general, when you look at the stats on marriages that, you know, make it the long run, the stats are not that good. So, and that's with biological parents or whatever first marriages. So the stats also do show that second marriages, the more marriages you have after that, the likelihood of them ending in divorce increases. So I give you that. But what I'm talking about is in terms of the outcomes of the children that are when you look at the single-led households versus the married-led households, whether they are first marriages or second marriages. It's just basically saying that when you have a father and a mother in the home, the outcome for the kids typically are better. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, mistaken.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. I do want to get Sham Monet in there. She's been in the back waiting patiently. Let me get her in, and then so I'm gonna drop down. But please, nobody talk over her, and then we'll get the rotation. Keep it going.
Look, I felt like I was on the outside of the club trying to get in. Real fast, not gonna take long. Listen, I agree with a lot of what this young lady is saying. LA, if I'm taking it from her standpoint, let's just take it from she does not have any kids. I don't want anybody to sit on here saying it's better for a person who doesn't have kids to go in a situation with a person who does have kids. I would not preach that at all. Now, if you just so happen to find someone and he has a child, that's something that you have to take that conversation you have to have for yourself. But if you're going to go out looking for mates, I would not suggest that you go to the guy who has kids, especially if you're not ready to be a stepmom, pinpoint blank. Okay, so I agree with you on that. Everything that she said, I absolutely agree with. And I always said, ma'am,
you're popping. Is everybody muted?
I'm popping. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, the sound, the audio.
No, it was a joke, girl. Can you hear me now? Am I still popping?
We can hear you, but it's popping though.
Go again.
I'll go. Can you hear me? I'll go.
But that iPhone mic, mic is trash.
Yeah, I would just say go back out and come back in, Shannon. I'll bring you back up. Go ahead, Bruce. I know you're trying to get in.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is it's important, you know, to understand the context behind it all. You know, don't let yourself get caught up in the first layer of what she's saying. You got to factor in the circumstances, the background, and setting in which these things happen. But keep in mind that the data supports the fact that the kids do better when a woman remarries and the kids have some sense of masculinity raising them to be men. That's just a fact. When a woman says that a single mom shouldn't get remarried or attempt to present a replica of a nuclear family for the children, is actually more detrimental to the children. So it is worse for the children to have no man, period, as a parent in a household, even if the parent is non-biological. But when you talk about the Black community, you want to talk about the Black community specifically. I tend to not talk about, I try to stay away from that. Because when you actually have a community, a Black economy circulating in and out, political figures moderating policy, educational resources, media representation, and justice system that defends Black people in the courtroom, when you have an actual community, you have these things. And when you have these things, when a father is removed from the household, the children, they will actually still flourish because of the community. The village that has been established among Black people, in which today, unfortunately, we do not have, and we will never have them, because women actually believe they can raise these kids alone without any essence of a father. We'll never get there. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, let me say this, man. Y'all stop teaching these single mothers this, man, because the only thing I'm gonna teach a goddamn kid is how to properly dispose of a condom down the toilet and flush. The hell with this, man. It's obvious. We don't believe in marriage. We don't want marriage. We don't want these people to get together. Ain't gonna be no tribe or village. Shit. Again, I'm knocking on the back door. You let me in when them kids are asleep. And when they up, I'm not gonna be around.
Let me ask you a question. Are you serious or are you being sarcastic?
I'm bullshitting. I'm bullshitting my ass off. Now, again, I agree with some things LA saying. I just don't agree with all. Again, I would not encourage a son who doesn't have any kids to marry a woman with kids. I would not tell him to make that investment. It's a tough ask to ask any young man who has no kids to marry a woman with kids. I would never do that. But if he has kids and to date a woman with kids, I don't have a problem with that. If he said there and say, Daddy, she has a kid, I got a kid, we gonna make it work.